Why do we still have the issues that we have?
Man, if you're going to break the law, you need to learn it.
Drop the mic.
You're welcome, Mayor Williams.
Okay.
Let's do it.
I can't wait to see the show.
Hey guys, welcome to According to Michelle with Michelle Taylor Willis. And as we're moving along right here in the year, I think the word of 2021 might be intention. This is the word I've been hearing over and over and over again as we kind of move through the year about people being intentional about just about everything, how they operate, how they parent, how they work, how they do business, how they run their own businesses, how they think, but really how they move and how they speak. And I think one of the things that would really make sense is if we focused our intention on being intentional. So my challenge to you, and it's my challenge to myself as well, is as I make moves that I know or I feel like are going to be smart moves, right? Whether it's for my family, for my kids, for myself, for my business, am I being smart about how I'm doing it? Am I thinking 2-3 steps ahead? Am I thinking as a chess player as opposed to a checkers player, right? And so I think that's the challenge for all of us. How can we think 3 steps ahead of the game and make decisions that are going to be for the long game and not the short game? And be intentional about what long-term living looks like and not short-term. Because if 2020 taught us anything, it's that if you were living in the short term, that's a no bueno. You gotta always be planning for what's next. Live in the day, plan for tomorrow, but be intentional about how you do it and why you do it. So speaking about being intentional about how you speak, I'm like being very intentional now about because there's a poet sitting next to me, and part of me just wants to start rhyming, but I'm not going to do it. Guys, we've got in the studio today John Wood, who is a poet, business owner, a man of many words, right?
Awesome. Yes, I am those things. I do want to, before we even get started, I do got some merch for you.
Yeah.
I couldn't come in here empty-handed.
I'm so glad.
So I got one of my favorite sweatshirts. From my brand Stained Glass Apparel.
Awesome.
I think you're going to really, really like it.
I'm going to love it, and we're going to talk more about this. Thank you. I will hug you, but one, I'm sitting down, and we've kind of blocked the scene already. And two, it's COVID.
It's COVID. It's COVID. It's all good.
I was just saying this. Thank you. Awesome. So, poet, I want to say songwriter, but I didn't see anywhere that you've written any songs, but you probably could, right?
I think I could.
So you're from Atlanta, and we're filming here in Atlanta.
Yeah.
But I really want to know a little bit about your childhood, right? Did you literally come out of the womb just speaking eloquence? Did you know that this is something you were destined to do, or did you just kind of fall into it? Talk to us about how you landed here.
Yeah. So growing up, I think one big thing, I grew up in church. Like, that was the biggest thing. And so, like, when you grow up in church, like, you try your hand at so many things. Like, hey, let's get them to do this. Let's get them to do that. Yeah. And so I think people who put me in those places, teachers, ministers, whoever, they saw I just really wasn't scared to talk in front of people.
Right.
And that was just not a normal thing for a child.
Right.
And so.
Yeah, because most children are kind of like they're a little iffy about doing the Easter poem.
Yeah, listen,
right.
I was killing it every time. I think the biggest thing, I had a good memory. And so, because I had a good memory, you really couldn't mess me up unless I let you, And so I think I realized I had that power pretty early. Yeah. And so I got put in everything. Like, oh, let him do the Easter speech. Let him whatever. And so that was a big thing. And so naturally, I'm in these competitions.
Yep.
I went to my school. The school I went to as well was like a private school that was, I guess, run by the church. And so it was just, they were tied hand in hand.
Yeah.
So all the speech competitions, a lot of them were poetry.
Right.
And so I was like exposed to poetry at a really young age. And big thing, when I was probably in about the 6th grade, I, wrote my first poem. And I
in the 6th grade.
6th grade. And so I gave it to my teacher, and he was like, "You wrote this?"
Wow. Do you remember what it was?
It was a love poem.
Oh gosh, you started at 6th grade with the girls. Oh my goodness. What was the love? Do you remember like a line from it or anything?
It was like, I remember the first line. It was like, "Love is a sense, not 5 but 6," something like that.
It was something. He had bars when he was 12, y'all.
So I was like 12 years old, and I was, and he was really excited about it. And he let some other teachers, read it. And so, yeah, and I think that stuck with me, that they were really impressed, like even at a young age, that I was, talking about these things.
Yes.
And so that was probably what really set me in the path forward, that, okay, I think I have something here. I don't know if I'm going to continue to cultivate it, but it's something I think I'm good at.
Right. And what's cool is that you had people around you that saw it, that were fostering that.
Very critical.
Right. And I think sometimes, as kids, our parents, our teachers, adults around us have things that they want us to do. And so if they see things outside of that, they may not push us.
Yeah.
But I think what's phenomenal about the adults that you had around you is that they saw it and they fed it.
Yeah.
They fueled it.
Yeah.
Which is amazing, right?
It was definitely a blessing, because I was not like super athletic, like I'm short, like, you know what I'm saying? Like that was not about to be my path, you know what I'm saying? So
well, you could have been like a running back, move quick in between the,
Maybe, possibly, but so that was just not my thing. So it was definitely a blessing to just have those people around me who saw that, oh, he can speak, oh, this is a little bit different, like let's, put him in these things and see what happens.
So do you remember as a child and even as a young adult where these words would come from? Like how do this eloquence kind of land in your brain, so to speak?
That's a good question.
Thank you very much.
That's a good.
Did you hear that? He said my question was good.
That was a good question. I think, wow. So how did we land here? I think the biggest thing, I would say a few different sources. So one is I have an older sister. And on the weekends, like my parents, they are business owners. Like they ran businesses in Atlanta. And so on the weekends, a lot of times they had to work. And so we had like it was a lady at my church who took care of us on the weekends.
Sure.
And so it was like she was probably like my age now. So I'm 29. So she was probably like 28, 26, something like that, around that age. And so it was like her, my sister, and then like somebody that was a little bit closer to my sister's age, maybe 4 or 5, and I was always around just women every weekend.
And older women.
Older women at that.
Yeah.
So, I think learning how to express myself, like just like learning, like giving myself like language and being in touch with my feelings.
Yes.
Like I was overexposed to that.
Because you're around women all the time. You're that or you're going to be real petty.
Like all the time.
Yeah.
And so I think I just developed that pretty soon. And so once I start to capture that, then I think like vocabulary and things like that just starts. You can start, begin to tell like these stories.
Right.
And so I think that was I think even now to this day, learning like the craft came much later, but learning how to be honest and like how to like say how I feel, I learned pretty young.
Wow. So a couple of things that are interesting. I have so many questions I want to ask you, but you say things that make me think of other things. So one, you said that honing the craft came later, but the raw talent was kind of there, right? And then you learned, your experiences and your environment really. But what was the gap, do you think, between taking the raw talent you had and realizing that you might need to just tweak it a little bit with training, right, and developing skill? Because a lot of people take their raw talent and raw talent is great, but sometimes you need to touch it up a little bit.
Yeah, you do.
So what was the gap between those two, and how did you know, and what did you do to hone your craft?
So you mean like a time gap, or just like what
did you think? Where did you think, okay, I'm really good, but I can be so much better if I just do these couple things, or I'm really good, but I got a long way to go if I do,
Yeah, I think I thought I was good because, everybody, like I was one of, just being the age that I am, like I got on Facebook when I was like in the 9th grade.
Okay.
And so immediately you have this audience of people that you can start showing them. Everybody now has this audience, right?
That's right.
I can pick up photography tomorrow and start showing people my pictures.
Exactly
I'm a photographer. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And so like.
And brand yourself as such, right?
You sure can.
3 pictures in.
3 pictures in. You don't even know what ISO, you don't know what nothing mean. You know what I'm saying? Like aperture, you don't know nothing. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's so I was kind of giving this audience, like I probably started posting my poetry and like on Facebook, and maybe like the 11th grade or the
Yeah.
12th grade, and I started kind of gaining this audience. But then I think what I noticed I had gaps is when I heard a poet that was really good. You know what I'm saying? And so I was like, oh, hold up. Like, you know, I feel like my poetry is hitting, but it ain't hitting like that.
You're like, wait a minute.
Yeah, like it's not hitting like that.
Right.
And so,
what did he do? What did that poet do that you weren't doing that made you stop in your tracks?
they had a flow.
Okay.
Like they had flow, and they knew how to tell a story.
Got you.
Like they knew how to tell a story. It was like, and it was a dynamic story, you know, and it was like the way, like the ebbs and flows of like this control. Like it's
Right.
like the poet could control how you felt
Yep.
at given points of this story.
Got
you know,
you.
and I knew I didn't have that type of control. I didn't have a flow, and I definitely couldn't really tell a story. I could just be honest,
Right.
you know. And so that was like, that's what I knew. I was like, okay, this is gonna require some more work.
Got you.
know?
And so what did you do to do that more work? What did that more work look like?
I think practicing was really big. Studying other poets, like I studied poets. So my favorite poet is actually a woman. Her name is Jasmine Mans.
Okay.
She's a poet. She's out of Newark, New Jersey. Like even to this day, I think she's like dropping a book, like her second book soon. And so I studied poets, and I saw like what they did and how, you know, what they talked about, and like that was a big thing. And I started seeking mentorship. You know, when these poets would say like, hey, I'm taking, you know, clients, or I'm taking mentees or whatever, like, you know, I would submit, you know,
Right.
and I got a lot of my work out in front of some of these people.
Right.
And so I would, you know, and I would take that to, you know, take that stuff in and really apply it to my work. And a big thing is I learned, like, you know, I started reading. I learned that like you can't be a writer if you don't read. And so
That's right.
you can't be a writer
That's
if you
right.
don't read. And so like those were like some very, really practical steps. So I continued to write. I seek mentorship, and I learned the integral parts of being a good writer, and one of those is being a reader.
It's interesting. I was going to ask you, and I knew the answer. I was going to say, do you read a lot? And of course you do.
Yeah.
But what are your favorite things to read outside of poetry and studying poet? What do you like to read?
Like I was raised in church, so I'm a big theology like person.
Okay.
I read a lot of theology. Like I find it really, really interesting. But of course I read Black work. Like I love, you know, Black women writers. Like,
Okay.
you know, I love the way they tell stories. So yeah, so theology and novels are like my really big things outside of poetry.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So I know you mentioned your brand here. At what point did you decide to take your poetry and make it a brand, right, on merch?
Right. Yeah, so that was the critical point, like, because a couple things. Somebody told me a couple years in the game, like doing poetry here in Atlanta. So I'm doing poetry in college. I kind of
At UGA.
At UGA.
I'm a Florida
Smile.
Gator, so it's like
Smile
him
about
sitting
it.
next to me is literally like the great divide. But go ahead.
Yeah, so at UGA, so I learned, like, so I'm doing poetry there, like towards like my senior year. I feel like I got something, you know,
Sure.
here, like I'm here. And so, you know, that was like, once I left, like I spit some, like I remember just the type of feedback that I got was very, you know, very close to what I had been studying during that time. And so I come to Atlanta in like 2015, I brand myself, I'm a poet, you know what I'm saying? Maybe 9 months later, I get my first like paid show, you
Wow.
know? And I'm kind of start going from there. But one thing I realized is like, I never really got paid what I wanted to get paid.
Yeah.
Never got paid what I wanted to get paid. And so I realized that watching, like what I saw other poets doing, a big thing was, how can I put my words on things? So how can I sell my words?
Got you.
How can I sell my words?
Put it on t-shirts.
How
Put
can
it
I
on hoodies.
t-shirts? Yep.
Wow.
So
really
that was
smart.
a big thing. And so
Really smart.
I wrote a book in 2017, and that was like my first, one of my first like pieces of like product.
Yeah.
Because I was like, okay, if I want to make X, Y, Z off of this show, and they're only paying me this, okay, I need to sell this many books.
Right.
And then eventually that became into, oh, I'm about to sell hoodies. I'm
Yeah.
about to sell t-shirts.
That's good.
You know, because I can make these words make money.
Make money and make sense.
Yeah.
It don't make dollars, it don't make sense.
Yeah.
Okay, listen, we are just getting started here with John Wood. We're going to take a quick break. Golly, I'm not intentional with my speech at all. We're going to take a quick break, but before we do, John has mastered a childhood game, and I want you guys to guess what it is. It's either the Rubik's Cube, Scrabble, or Operation. One of those games he has mastered. So when we come back on the other side of this break, we're going to find out what it is. Stay tuned for more According to Michelle. Hey guys, welcome back to According to Michelle. And when we went to break, I asked you guys what the childhood game was that John Wood had mastered. It was either Rubik's Cube, Scrabble, or Operation. So he is going to tell us in just I'm not going to do the whole thing. What was it?
It was Rubik's Cube.
Yes, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
Because I saw it on the cue card. So like if I gave you a Rubik's Cube, you could literally like go at it?
Yeah, I could.
Really?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, I learned how to do it on YouTube, and then I like battled some kid in like high school. It's pretty
That's
cool.
YouTube University is a thing.
It's a thing.
So let's talk about, since we're talking a little bit about culture, social media. I listened to one of your poems, the social media, you knew where I was going with this, and I loved it. And 30 days without social media. And one of the lines you said in that is, give or take, I don't want to misquote you, but where people are judged not by the color of their skin, but by the content of their social media page.
Yeah.
I find that so intriguing in a good way, because we're in this culture, like you just said it, right? I'm a photographer, I post 3 pictures, now I'm a photographer, right? And we've become, life has become akin to what we see on social media.
Yeah.
Right? And you've grown up in the social media age.
I have.
I'm a little older than you, right?
Yeah.
So I know the difference between what social media looked like before and what it looks like now. Where do you think we're getting social media wrong as a society, and how can we use it to better represent ourselves? Because you're using it to represent yourself great. All of your content is out there and it's beautiful.
Yeah.
But we're missing something here.
Yeah, I definitely feel like what happens is people are able to, and it might be just like, I don't know if it's a coming of age thing, but you're able to like project a thing without being the thing. And it's just like, I can be the thing here, you know what I'm saying, there, but I don't actually have to be the thing in real life.
Right.
It's like a lack of accountability, you know, and like nobody's checking, it's nowhere to check the facts.
Right. Right.
There's
Yeah,
nowhere to
you're
check
right.
the facts. Like, is it real? Is it not? And I think, unfortunately, the way we are doing it, a lot of times is how the new generation is learning to do it. You know, like now you have generation, what is it, Z? Like,
Pick a letter. I'm lost
right,
at this
the
point. I
next,
have no
the
idea.
next
Yeah.
whoever's after millennials,
Right.
like, like they're on TikTok, they're on all these things, right? And they've seen the way we use social media. And so like, I think we're just overall just really setting a bad example, just like in this way that we can just project something that's not really true.
Right.
And it's not real.
And it's not real at all.
It's not real.
But your words are real.
Yeah.
I mean, I've watched several of your poems coming into this interview. And one of the things that I really see that comes out in you is this passion for accountability and excellence, right? And of course, it's a Black thing, right? But I think anybody listening to you could use that as a self-audit, could use your words, your poems as self-audits. Do you do that intentionally? Or when you start flowing, it just comes and whatever ends up there?
Yeah, I think I've learned how to write with conviction. Like I write things that I care about and that I know people need to hear. And I think that by doing that, you know, I'm already a couple of steps ahead,
right.
You know, and look at it, I don't really joke around with what I'm doing. I take it very seriously.
Yes.
And so like
it's evident.
Yeah, and I think like when you know like you're called to do something, or you know that you're here for a reason, or you're using something because there is greater purpose behind it, then like you can do it in a way that shows people like, hey, this is bigger than me. Because I think there is especially as a performer, because I dealt with that growing up. I grew up, being kind of an attention seeker. Like I was a big attention seeker and seeking attention in the wrong ways or for the wrong things. And so I think the interesting thing is like also kind of like my gift is in being, this being on stages. And so I feel like there was always a possibility that I could be the person that seeks attention for this, or I can do it in a way that what I'm actually called to do.
Right.
And so
like using your powers for good, not
exactly.
evil. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so I think that's I think that is the key. I think it is doing the work, being able to do the work before the post, before the cameras come around, before the money comes or whatever it is. I think it is actually working on being that thing, before you can benefit from it in any way.
Wow.
Yeah, because I spent, I would spit poems in rooms with 2 people, you know what I'm saying, or three people.
That's right.
To get a couple of thousand views or whatever on a poem on Instagram. Like I remember when I got 10, you know what I'm saying? Yep. And I spit just the same way.
That's exactly right.
I spit just the same way. So, and
Powerful.
I think where unfortunately the new generation is like, or people that grew up in the social media age, that's a little bit harder because it's like, okay, I posted it, where's my engagement?
Exactly. Yeah. Where's my likes at?
Where are my likes?
Hang tight. We'll be right back with more According to Michelle. Hey guys, so we are here at Parlor Den, and you might remember this place. I interviewed the owner a few months ago, right before Christmas, and so we're back. So if it looks familiar, it should. But we're here because poet John Wood is actually doing a spoken word here, and we got a little birdie told us that this was happening. So we're gonna go in, check him out, and maybe catch him for a few minutes afterwards, see where his inspiration comes from. Come on, let's go.
This here is Black Boy Science. Periodically, we became the 5th element to survive. Bend the air for the smoke, drink the water and wear it. Inherit the earth and share it. Shouting, I'm an image bearer. This John 3:16 in the West Side regime. And here, my talent is the weapon and my body is never the target. I done dodged the pit so much, to tell the story, baby, we done started charging. This here is Black Boy Grace. We ain't asked for this. The gift is embedded in our bones. So watch us make money and rhythm. Blow up the spot and shut down the system. Set the bar, be the bar. Major in the key just to feed the block. We done gave y'all a hustle and a home, baby. This is Black Boy Rock.
So, I mean, I know you do this all the time, but
yeah.
I mean, I still think it's fascinating that you could just get up there and, I mean, I know you prepare your works, but sometimes the spirit kind of hits you different, right?
Yeah, it does. I think I've always been one of those people that like when I'm on the stage, I'm kind of a completely different person. It kind of just, it's like a two-sided type thing.
Yeah.
But I enjoy it. I think that is like the dope part of being like of artistry and just knowing your art and being, and doing something for a long time. You just know yourself.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Do you feel, I'm assuming you feel different vibes when you go on different stages, right? And then there really is this thing about feeding off the audience, right?
Right.
What was the audience giving you in there?
They was giving me the energy I needed. You know, I don't need a whole lot. I just needed just a few smiles. You know what I'm saying? A few head nods, and I can take it from there.
You can take it from there.
I can take it from there.
So listen, thank you so much for letting us, engage and see what you do and keep us abreast of your work. We got to check you out more often.
I appreciate y'all pulling up.
Absolutely,
sure.
That's what we do.
Yes.
Guys, we'll be right back with more According to Michelle. Well, that was awesome. Thank you so much for kind of letting us into your space and your brain a little bit and learn, about what you do and how you do it.
Yeah.
So, switch gears real quick. Black Forever. Which is one of your, this line of yours, merchandise, in case, for those of you who don't know. How did you come up with that, and what made you be, because I know you're creative at heart. Yeah. How did you decide, you're going to spell forever like that?
Yeah.
And, what does it mean? What's the meaning behind it?
Yeah, so talking a little bit earlier about learning that how to make my words, how to sell words, right?
Intention, yes,
Intention,
that's exactly
being
right.
intentional about how to do those things. And so the cool thing about spoken word and poetry is that, especially in the context of which Black people do it, is like it's call and response. Like, you know, it's very much so like, you like a line, you make noise, you know.
Right.
And so that was a big thing. That's why I loved it so much. Like, that's what really pulled me into is like the crowd participation. And so I wrote this poem called "Wakanda People Are We." It was like a poem. It was about like about being like.
I saw that. I saw that.
It was like black. It's about like Black excellence, you know.
Yes.
And so in the poem, I said this line like, "If race is a part of our eternal destiny, I can't wait to be Black forever." And so I spit this line, and that was the line. Like from the poem, that was the one that got the response. And I was like, I was like,
I think I can do something with
I think
this.
we could do something with that. I was like, yeah, I think I want to turn that into a shirt.
Wow.
And so that's what I did. And so when I was looking at the way I wanted to spell it, I was like, it was really just, I knew I wanted to put it on a hoodie. And so I said, well, Black forever spelled out all the way. That's a little bit too much. Let's get rid of, you know, all the vowels, you know, and let's just, you know, put it into this one word.
Got you, so it would fit. Right, because there are no vowels. Jeez, that's right. It's funny how you don't even think about those things. I see it. It never just occurred to me that there's just no vowels.
Yeah,
that's
there's no vowels.
And so a lot of people have seen your work, your poetry, your merchandise. Van Jones, what was that like, being able to be a part of something, you know, a CNN celebrity?
That must
have been huge, right?
It was really dope. I really enjoyed that. Yeah, it was good. It was really dope. So yeah, I did do some poetry at the King Center for Van Jones's project called the Redemption Project. And it was amazing. My favorite part actually out of the whole thing was about, I had to write a poem on prison reform. And it was such a serious topic. And the dope thing about it is they called me, I didn't even know I was first. So he called me up first. And I was like, that was probably the most nervous I've ever been.
Really?
I don't even get nervous.
Yeah.
But I was so nervous.
You were nervous then.
And I was reading the poem. And like when I was reading it, I could feel like my hands. And so I do the poem. He comes back up and he's like, oh wow, we can go home.
That's it, my job.
he's like, oh, we can go home. Y'all ready to wrap it up? And I was like, okay, that means I did.
You
good.
did well.
Yeah.
You did well. Do you keep in touch with him?
I talk to him on Twitter every now and then.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's amazing. I mean, you have to be proud of what you do. I mean, not just you're a poet, but you've created a business. But your parents were business owners, right? I mean, so you saw entrepreneurship. You know what business ownership looks like. You know how to create and curate business out of your passion, which is being creative. Creativity is your passion. You found a way to monetize it. You grew up in a church, right? And you were surrounded by people who believed in you, who were older than you and wiser, and so gave you all of these things. It's kind of like the perfect setup for significance, which is what I call like the next step past success, right? That's that legacy that you talk about. That's what knowing why you're here, what you're here for. 99.9% of people have no idea why they were placed on this earth. And that's why it is not crowded at the top. And why people like you are fantastic.
I appreciate it. That's awesome.
That could have been a poem.
That was really good. I was like,
was that poetic?
I was there.
You were there with me, right?
I was there.
All right, so speaking of poetry, obviously you love poets. And so I've got a game. I play a game usually at the end of every According to Michelle's segment.
Okay.
So the name of this game is Name That Poet.
Oh, wow.
Okay? So, by the way, nobody ever wins my games. Buddy.
I'm about to
Just
say
giving you
now.
a heads up. All right, so we're going to do the intro for the game. It's do 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 boom do do. Name that poet. Yeah. It's the that gets them at the end. Okay, you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. I'm going to give you a quote. You're going to tell me who it is.
Oh, man.
This one you should know because you like female poets.
Okay.
Give you a hint.
Okay.
I love you because no two snowflakes are alike. And if possible, if you stand tippy-toe to walk with raindrops.
That's Nikki Giovanni.
Oh my gosh! Dope! I honestly did not think you were going to get that.
Yeah.
Oh, let my land be a land where liberty is crowned with no false patriotic wreath.
Is that Langston Hughes?
God, this dude is sick with it. Listen, it has been a pleasure talking to you. I'm so glad that my team found you, and thank you for coming on the According to Michelle show.
Yes.
Tell these people how they can book you, find you, buy your merch. Give it all to them.
Okay, everything. So you can find me on Twitter and on Instagram at Poet John Wood. All the information that you need to, find me, to book me is there. You can find me on my website, poetjohnwood.com. I run two clothing brands. One is called Stained Glass Apparel. That's stainedglassapparel.com. Stained Glass ATL on Instagram. The other one is Black Forever, but like we said earlier, it's no vowels in it, but it's BLKFRVR, and that's Black Forever on Instagram and blackforever.com.
Awesome. Thanks again, John.
Thank you for having me.
And listen, you heard it here first on According to Michelle. Follow my man, stay in touch with him. He's doing great things and he's going to continue to grow. But I need you to stay in your seat because we're going to be right back with more According to Michelle.
The power of connection. There are multiple roads to success. Each business or entrepreneur charts their own course. Maybe you had a great mentor that specifically guided you.
I just need help.
Or a connection with a banking officer that showed you beneficial programs you didn't know existed. The South Fulton Chamber of Commerce is your connector to everything you and your business need.
Hey guys, welcome back to According to Michelle. I'm Michelle Taylor Willis, and I'm really excited about the person that you are about to meet today. He has really transformed the way we see and the way we do business in one of the cities right here surrounding the metropolitan Atlanta area, Union City. And I think once you get to know him, you will be absolutely one of his supporters in his vision as he continues to grow Union City and make it an economic powerhouse right here in Atlanta. So without further ado, welcome to the According to Michelle show, Mayor Vince Williams, the Honorable Vince Williams.
Stop it. Yeah.
Pastor Williams.
Just plain old Vince.
That means I can't curse around you, huh?
Well, please don't. I say that for myself.
I'm so glad to finally have you on set.
Well, how are you doing?
I'm fantastic. How do I look?
You look fantastic as usual. But Michelle, I tell you, I am so proud of you and everything that you're doing. It's nothing you don't do. And the thing is, you hear about people who are jack of all trades or Jackie of all trades. But you master everything that you do, and it's so awesome. It's certainly in this phenomenon of the women movement. So thank you so much for having me tonight, and I'm looking forward to having a lot of fun. Yes.
That was very nice of you to say. I did not pay him for that, but I will.
No, you did not, but I always like to give honor where honor is due. You are due honor.
Well, thank you. Well, speaking of due honor, it is not always that we are blessed to have a mayor in our midst. So, but I got to start off by saying, first of all, congratulations to Union City. I know that, 10 years ago, the city looks completely different than what it looks like today. And you're just scratching the surface. So give us a little bit of history of Union City, kind of where it was, and where you're taking it now.
Well,
this is your second term, right?
I'm ending my second term,
right.
And I will be up for re-election next year.
Uh-oh.
So we're looking forward to that. I do have a commitment to the city, and certainly we got a lot of vested hard work already in the ground. Mm-hmm. So I do want to see a lot of those things manifest while I'm in office. But certainly when I've been elected to the city council since 2007. I came on as mayor in 2013. My predecessor resigned before the end of his term. And at that particular time, I was the mayor pro tem, which is to some people the vice mayor, if you will. So by state law, I automatically became mayor. However, because of Georgia's law, I had to resign my seat as a council member and actually run for the office.
Oh, wow.
And I had a very interesting thing to happen at that time because, as I said, he resigned from his seat before the end of his term. And the election season was about to come up anyway, so you had an unexpired term, very similar to what Congressman Lewis's situation was.
Right.
Yeah. Because we have former council member Kwanzaa Hall, who is finishing out the unexpired term.
Right.
So I ran for both of those seats, the unexpired term and also the full term. And as God would have it, I won both.
Wow.
I had a lot of folks who were concerned that I would vacate my seat and run for the office, but, because they were saying, well, suppose you don't win. I said, well, I'm not worried about that because I'm running to serve, so I'm not running for me.
Right.
And I know what God wants me to do. And we have had a great run of it thus far. When I took over as mayor, and I share this often, we had a very, very rough time financially because when I came in as mayor, we had less than $1 million to operate the city on.
Really? And how many residents do you have now?
There are over 20,000 individuals in Union City, residents in Union City. So the budget was, we were in dire straits, and that was right behind and in the middle of the housing crash that took place in 2008, 9, 10, 12, yeah. So I just, I have a great team of folks who are working with us. We have a great city manager, Sonia Fillingang, and our entire team, the city council and myself, we just rolled up our sleeves. I said, look guys, the vision first has got to be save the city. Let's get financially sound. Let's stabilize the finances for the city. And we were able to do that with a lot of the job creation that we've had. Some people haven't welcomed that, but it has been a huge benefit for not only just Union City, but for the region.
Right.
I have folks from all over the country calling and asking, how did you do it?
Is that right?
Yeah, and a lot of folks don't understand that. You've got to have a strong commercial base.
Right.
Because you don't want to lay the burden on the backs of the citizens.
Right.
Because in laying the burden on the back, what that means is taxes.
Right.
So, the great thing this year, for our 2020 budget, we are financially sound, even in the midst of COVID. We are financially sound. We have over $63 million budget. We have an extremely
When
healthy.
you came in, you had less than
I had less than $1 million.
So how did you, I know you said you did job creation and all, so without the citizens bearing that burden through taxes, how were you able in just the last 6-7 years?
Generating the relationship with bringing in commercial development. Those buildings and businesses, some people like to call them warehouses, I call them work centers. And we have begun to realize the benefit of those by the taxes that they pay.
Wow.
They pay enormous taxes.
Right.
And people don't understand that, but hopefully, people will begin to see we are laying the groundwork to continue the work of taking Union City away from the Mayberry-esque atmosphere to a real metropolis, if you will. We're not going to be in Atlanta, and that's not what we're trying to do, but we do want to make sure we have many of the amenities that people want to see and deserve in Union City and surrounding areas as well. So laying the groundwork for a commercial base, a strong commercial base, is very, very important. So once you do that, you got people working. That means they have money. That means they have money to spend.
Yes.
So when you
And
do
then you
that,
got to give them something to spend it on.
then you
right?
got to give them something to spend it on. So without creating the jobs, it's no point in trying to partner with restaurants and retail and all of that. We saw what the retail industry did when the mall failed. And I can tell you this, one of the first things I did when I came on as mayor, and even during my tenure as a vacated council member, because the previous council urged me to continue to work in making sure we do something with that vacant mall.
Yes.
And I had a great run with a number of individuals. Had the Rockefeller Group to come in, to look at the property. And the second company that I worked with, the Rooker Group, they said, look, this is a no-brainer. I said, the only thing that I ask you, because what they did, they built a development, and it was an industrial facility, which is the home of Carrick Green Mountain Coffee.
Oh, wow.
A lot of folks don't understand that.
Right.
That's in Union City. when you buy those machines at Walmart, Target, or wherever, they are packaged right there in Union City.
Wow.
But what I shared with them is, okay, you're at the front door of Union City. I do not want people coming into the city and seeing this building. So we got to do something else before we sign the dotted line. So there were, at that time, Fort McPherson was in the bid. They were having a bidding war with several individuals who were interested in purchasing, and namely Tyler Perry was one of the 3 individuals. Well, I met 2 gentlemen by the name of Ed Richardson and Brian Livingston.
I know those guys.
And they were either the number 2 or number 3 company that was bidding. And I met with them along with John Rooker and myself, and they decided to pull out of that and decided to come to Union City. And that's where the start of Atlanta Metro Studios got started.
And I think, and this is just me, right? But from what I know and from my interaction in Union City and in Southfield and in Atlanta, that's really what put Union City back on the map.
It
That's
really is.
And that's what kind of put you in position for people to say, oh my gosh, okay, this mayor has a vision that looks a lot different than what we ever, no one ever would have imagined that I know it's the nation's, it might be the world's, but the nation's largest purpose-built studio is in Union City.
It's in Union City, yeah. Yeah.
I mean, Netflix filmed out of there, and
HBO, a number of major films have filmed there. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, he has used that facility a number of occasions for projects that he's done. When they did Jumanji a few years ago, that's what hooked him. You know, so now he lives in the Atlanta area, but he still works from time to time over at Atlanta Metro Studios in Union City. So we're blessed to have that facility there, and you think about all of the employees, especially on a film project, that it takes to do an entire project. When you think about Netflix and HBO, especially in this COVID environment, everybody's watching TV, watching movies, binging and all of that. So they are extremely busy. They are extremely busy. They, both of those organizations have 5-year deals with Atlanta Metro Studios. So this is
they are booked. When you say busy, like they're booked. I mean, I've called, Gail. Hey, can I do that? And she's like, Michelle, you don't have any space.
They don't.
Like, it's nothing.
And that's a good thing. That's a good problem to have.
Great.
And they are looking around the area now to expand.
Wow.
So that's another positive. But with all of that commercial growth and certainly the film industry being in the city, we are experiencing some tremendous residential development going on now. We also have a very beautiful tax credit apartment complex in Union City. It's a brand new facility, and it is the type of facility that we want to have in our community for hardworking individuals, where you may have a single mom who's working 2 jobs just to make 1 paycheck. But rents are so out of reach for a lot of families, or the places that they have to live so crummy.
Right.
And it's depressing. It's depressing. But these facilities that, these apartments and townhomes that are coming, not just to Union City, but around the country, they are places where you want affordable workforce housing for hardworking individuals to be able to be proud of the place that they call home, and they deserve it. So we have a lot of great opportunity coming our way, so we're excited about that. We just opened a brand new grocery store because we were considered being what's called a food desert.
Right.
Because we only had a few grocery stores in the area, but we want to make sure that we saturate the area where people can walk, freely, or travel however they want to be able to get fresh fruits and vegetables and make sure that their families are fed. So we're excited about a lot of things that are going on. We spent a lot of time and energy in creating recreational amenities. Right now, one of the biggest used parks in our city right now is Mayor's Park. We invested over $1 million in renovating that entire park, and it is used greatly by our citizens, but also citizens around Metro Atlanta.
I've been to events there. It's a great place, and it's beautiful. It is great.
Yeah, we just had our very first virtual tree lighting, because of social distancing and COVID, we didn't want to have folks out like we normally do. But it was amazing, and people still got a chance to enjoy it from the comfort of their homes. We just finished a major overhauling of our Highway 29 ball fields. Anyone who drives down Roosevelt Highway or Highway 29, whatever you want to call it, look left or look right, and you will see the Eagles ball field park.
And I know Roosevelt Highway has some other things, excuse me, coming for it too. That whole area, every city in South Food really is figuring and finding their way now, right? But I know Union City has done some things greatly different. And so I know that you go all over the world on behalf of Union City.
Yes.
I know you travel all over Georgia on behalf of Union City. And I know you like to eat.
Yes.
So you've got to have a favorite city in Georgia to eat. So we got to take a quick break.
Okay.
I'm going to ask my viewers to give you guys 3 options for what you think Mayor Williams' favorite place to eat is in Georgia. Is it Union City? Is it Moultrie, Georgia? Or is it Atlanta? So don't answer. Don't tell us the answer. When we come back, we'll see if you get it right. Stay tuned. We'll be right back with more According to Michelle. Hey guys, welcome back to According to Michelle. So right before we went to break, we were trying to figure out what was the favorite city of Mayor Vince Williams to eat in. And that sounded really awkward, but trust me, I'm pretty sure you guys can follow me because you're smart for this. All right, so he has a favorite city to eat in. And we wanted to know, is it Atlanta? Is it Union City? Or is it Moultrie, Georgia? So I know the answer. I won't do the whole thing.
Okay.
Pretty soon I'll get my own theme music,
Look, I tell you, to be perfectly honest, my favorite city to eat in is Union City.
Oh, it is
I
Union
am
City.
there, most of my day and time is spent in Union City. So certainly I love eating in the city of Atlanta. A lot of great spots. In Moultrie. I've had the opportunity to eat in almost every city there.
I'm sure you have.
537 cities in the state of Georgia. And I'm excited about all of those, and we can talk about that later. But you can usually catch me at the Green Manor Restaurant.
They have great friends.
Yeah, and let me say, the historic Green Manor Restaurant.
Is it really haunted?
Yeah. Well, that's what they say, and I tell you, there have been a lot of TV shows filmed there. Certainly T.I. and his family, they filmed a segment for a show because it does have a history of being haunted.
Right.
I'm not afraid of ghosts because I know the Lord, so I'm not worried about ghosts.
Well,
except for the Holy Ghost. That's the Holy Ghost I'm worried about. Yeah.
Well, listen, if there are ghosts in there cooking that chicken, let them know. Because that is some good eating.
Yeah, yes indeed. You've got to be careful going there because I tell you, it will catch up with you.
Oh, yeah.
They have some great food there. It's a great atmosphere. And, to be perfectly honest, they were struggling during COVID.
Was there a restaurant that wasn't?
It was, yeah. One of the things that caused them an issue is because they're buffet style restaurants.
Oh, right.
So, you got to be careful with that. So it was a little harder for them to just dive back in, if you will.
Right.
So, but they're back, and the food is still good.
Food is still good. But I know that, one of the things we talked about earlier, we want people to have places to spend their
That's
money.
it.
And I know restaurants,
fine dining, I share with my community. We're a city that's not going to attract a Borden's restaurant right now. But as we continue to grow and evolve, those types of restaurants will come. But we do need to focus on, dining experiences for families, but also you may want to take your wife or your date, out somewhere to eat nice and have a drink and, just enjoy yourselves. But certainly we got to focus on, that is the thing we're focusing on now, is bringing in dining experiences, entertainment. We have such a great opportunity in soul food, because we're so connected. We're 8 cities strong. We're all uniquely different, and that's a good thing. But we're all extremely supportive of one another. I can't have everything in Union City.
right?
Mayor Ingram can't have everything in East Point. Mayor Edwards can't have everything in the city of South Florida.
I'm trying to tell him that.
So, yeah, well, hey, Bill, look, Bill is sensible. He understands that. And one of the good things about us as mayors, we do talk, we have great relationships, and we support one another. So that's a good thing, you know.
And it's evident too.
Yeah,
You can
it's
really
a
see
good
the
thing.
area binding.
Well, that was one of the
especially since COVID.
and not only that, I tell you, when I came on as mayor, that was one of the things I wanted to eradicate. All of the cities were in silos, Michelle, and that was no way possible that we were going to be able to expand and be the region that we wanted to be by working individually.
Right.
So coming together, and now we have a pretty decent relationship with the county. Sometimes it's a little tenuous, but you know, the county is the county is. But certainly as cities, we have a strong relationship, and it's been a huge benefit. And our relationship has grown because of the Georgia Municipal Association. As I said, there are 537 cities in the state of Georgia. And GMA, as we also lovingly call it, you know, I happen to be the president for 2020, 2021.
And congratulations again on that.
And we're excited about all of the great things that we as collective cities can do, but also we're excited about the relationship we have with GMA. GMA is an amazing organization that helps cities to be able to not only understand your role as an elected official, but also assist you with a number of things, for anywhere from HR to policing. You know, so it's a great organization, and I love what we do. But you know, it's just a huge benefit to us all. But on a larger scale, you know, we have a National League of Cities, which I'm a member of, and certainly, and this is not bragging, but I am this year's unanimously selected first vice president. So we're excited about that.
We are excited about that.
We get a chance.
I was going to say that for the end of the last
I'm
segment when I gave you all your accolades. Go ahead, take them as you need them, Mayor.
I'm sorry.
Take them as you need them. Guys, hang tight. Let's go see what the mayor's up to, and we'll be right back. Welcome back, guys. So was that crazy? I mean, did you actually know that they had all those pieces to the mayoral government? Is that a thing, mayoral government?
It is.
It is
exactly,
a thing. It is a thing.
Well, it's amazing. It's an amazing opportunity for me, but anyone that's a mayor. I mean, usually, and I've heard this a number of times from a lot of mayors who have gone on to pursue other endeavors, that their best vocation was being the mayor. I love what I do because I love people, and what I do each and every day, because I'm in my office every day, and I just love it. I just love it because you get to affect change for individuals that normally wouldn't be able to navigate some of the nuances that changes their lives.
Right.
So this is a great opportunity, and I have a great membership of council members who truly have the same feeling. They love what they do, and the benefit that we have that a lot of city councils don't have, mayors and city councils, is we care about one another. We respect one another, and you know, that's very key when you talk about a government. You know, we see what's going on around the nation. We saw what just happened, you know, with this November election.
Yep.
People are tired of nonsense. You know, when you talk about people's day-to-day lives, you can't just be whoever you want to be. It's about the people. You know, so, and I'm not one to get caught up in party. I do not get caught up in that, because there are just as many horrible Democrats as it is horrible Republicans. But we've got to learn how to work together.
Right.
And the best way to do that for me is to pray before I hit that office every day. And that's what I do. I'm up every morning, 4:30 in the morning, reading scripture, getting ready and prepared for my day. And I ask God, just show me what you want me to do today.
Well, this is almost over, Mayor. I
yeah.
hate to like bring you bad news,
Well,
but
hey.
we're almost done here. I'm almost through with you.
It's okay. Hey, you're not through with me. I will be back.
You will be back. Well, before we
I'll be
finish,
back.
I'll be back. We should have Arnold Schwarzenegger come and film at Atlanta Metro
Well,
Studio.
we'll do that. We'll do that.
I'll put in a call for you.
Yeah.
See if I can get him down. for you.
Arnold is a very good friend. We'll do that.
Oh, he's a really good friend of
he's a
yours?
really
I was
good
joking.
friend.
So
Yeah,
yeah,
no,
call
I'm
him.
not joking.
Call
Yeah.
him and see if you can get him
Yeah,
on the
yeah,
According to
yeah,
Michelle
we'll get
show.
him- we'll get him here.
Get him on it.
We'll get him here.
So you watch the show, you know that at the end of every show, I always play a little game with
Come
my
on,
guests.
let's do it.
So I got a good game for you. I'm very excited.
God.
It's about mayors. It's
Okay.
suited for you.
Okay.
We designed this just for you.
You're going to try to trip me up. Come on.
No, it's gonna be great. No, I would never trip you up. I'm so gonna trip him up. All right, so here's the first. Oh, I gotta do my name that mayor or something mayoral. I know. See,
Okay,
my
here we
budget's
go.
not big
Here we
enough,
go.
so I gotta do it on my own. All right, you ready? Who was the first mayor of Atlanta?
The first mayor of Atlanta?
Mm-hmm.
Now, you would ask me something like that. I really don't know who the first mayor was.
You don't know?
Yeah.
Okay, just guess. Just guess so I can put a big X on your face in post-production.
This is horrible. I wish I had known the questions before.
No, that'd be cheating, Mayor. We're not cheaters here. Okay, the first mayor of Atlanta was Moses Formwalt. 1848. Moses Formwalt. That's right up your alley.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Moses. Okay. I thought you were talking about Moses.
You mean the
who
real
parted the
Moses?
waters. Yeah.
I don't know if
Yeah.
I'm thinking Atlanta probably wasn't here back when he was there, but yeah.
Well, it was here, but it wasn't.
But it
Atlanta.
wasn't in Atlanta. But I like what you did there, Mayor. And
hey.
yeah, Moses Formwalt was his
Moses,
name.
okay.
And look what he created.
Moses, he
in the
didn't
spirit of
create.
Moses. Well, fair enough. Okay, golly. All right. Okay, Pastor.
Keisha did.
Well, she didn't create it either. God created it all.
Oh, hallelujah. Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
Okay, here's the next question for you.
Okay.
Who is the newest sworn-in black mayor
The newest sworn-in black man.
in America? Just got sworn in.
Well, I tell you, I can't remember this young man's name.
You know the city?
I can't remember the city. Yes, I can. Baltimore.
There you go. Boom, you got it.
Baltimore.
Okay, we'll
And
give
it
you
was
that.
So much fuss about
That's right.
his haircut. You know, I said, wow, a young man, 36 years old, excited that he's in office, and I'm looking forward to working with him.
You are going to be working with
Yes,
him, right? Because
yes,
that's what you
indeed.
do.
Yeah.
Brandon Scott is his
Yes,
name. Brandon
yes,
Scott.
yes.
So you're welcome. Hey, look, Brandon, you're welcome. Brandon, meet Mayor.
We'll get Brandon
Mayor.
here. Yeah, I'll see
we need
Brandon.
to-
Yeah, I'll see him.
We need to get him here. Okay, final question is, who is the longest serving mayor in Georgia? You're not going to know this either. I don't even know why.
In Georgia?
In Georgia.
Wow, I tell you, because I know several mayors who have served for 40 plus years.
Mm-hmm. Name one
And
of them.
I
You
can't
might get
call
it.
their names for you.
Mayor, you're doing awful at this
I'm
game.
sorry.
You just need to go back and run
I don't
the
play
city.
games. I get down to real stuff. You know. Yeah.
See how you turn that around? Of course, that's what. Of course, I'm not even gonna say who it is.
Is he in
Viewers, if
Georgia?
you know.
Yeah, who is
Yeah,
it?
it's Cumming,
Yeah.
Georgia. It's
Oh.
Cumming, Georgia. He's actually the longest-serving mayor, I think, in the nation, but definitely in Georgia. His name is H. Ford Gravett.
Gravett.
You got it. That's it. I'll
yeah.
almost give it to you.
Grab it. Yeah.
Listen, thank you so much for coming. It's always fun and a pleasure to learn and to converse and engage with you. You always bring tons of energy, but congratulations at everything you're doing at Union City. As always, let me know how I can help you. And tell our viewers if they want to do business with you, business with the city.
Please,
how do they find you?
Look, you can find me in Union City at 5047 Union Street in City Hall, in the back office of City Hall. But also, you can reach me at UC Mayor Events on my Facebook page. Follow me at UC Mayor Events on Twitter and Instagram. Thank you for having me, Michelle. You're always doing something great, and that's why I'm so proud of you. Excited about this venture that you're in right now with your son, who is your director. That is amazing. I'm bubbling with joy right now, but I'm excited for you. Thank you for having me today.
Thank you so much. As
Thank
always,
you.
thank you for your kind words. I'm glad you're here. And thank you. you guys for watching According to Michelle. I am Michelle Taylor Willis, and you've heard it here again, right? We always have people who are, right here in Atlanta, but affecting the national stage, and they're living their passion and loving it. And that means you can do the same thing.
And I love you, and there ain't nothing you can do about it.
And we love you, and there ain't nothing you can do about it. I am at Michelle Taylor Willis on just about everything. Until next week, see ya.